Our story begins in the late 1700s. In 1790, President George Washington chose a site along the Potomac and Anacostia rivers for the new national capital. This location was carefully selected to be distinct from any state, thanks to land ceded by both Maryland and Virginia. To design the city, Washington appointed Pierre-Charles L'Enfant, a French engineer. L'Enfant envisioned a bold, modern city with grand boulevards, ceremonial spaces, and a grid system centered around the Capitol building. Inspired by Paris, his plan gave DC its iconic layout with streets named for states and sweeping avenues. Construction began, relying heavily on enslaved labor, as both Maryland and Virginia were slave states at the time. The city's boundaries were carefully surveyed by Andrew Ellicott and Benjamin Banneker, and boundary stones were placed, many of which still stand today. In 1800, Congress moved from Philadelphia and held its first session in the unfinished Capitol building. The city was officially named Washington in honor of the president, and the district itself was called Columbia, a poetic name for America at the time. But DC's early years were far from peaceful. In 1814, during the War of 1812, British forces invaded and burned much of the city, including the White House, the Capitol, and the Library of Congress. The city had to rebuild from ashes, with Thomas Jefferson even selling his personal library to restore the Library of Congress. Despite setbacks, Washington slowly grew. In 1847, the portion of the city that had belonged to Virginia, now Alexandria, was returned to the state, shrinking the district's